It starts with a moment that no one expected, the kind of quiet, almost ordinary scene that somehow turns into something unforgettable. A practice room, mirrored walls, the faint echo of music looping over and over again. And right there in the center, Park Jimin watching closely as Jungkook repeats a move for what feels like the 100th time. At first glance, it doesn't look unusual. Anyone who has followed BTS knows how seriously they take their craft. Hours of practice, relentless repetition, pushing past limits, that's the standard. But something about this particular interaction feels different. It's not just practice. It's not just choreography. There's a dynamic here that's subtle but powerful, and fans, ARMY, picked up on it instantly. Why did this moment stand out so much? Why did it spark such intense reactions online? And more importantly, what does it reveal about their relationship, their growth, and the unseen layers behind their performances? The clip, whether you've seen it or not, captures something raw. Jimin isn't just demonstrating moves. He's breaking them down, step by step, almost obsessively precise. His eyes are sharp, focused, catching even the smallest details. A slight misalignment of posture, a fraction of a second delay, a hand that's not quite angled correctly. And Jungkook, he's listening, really listening. This is where things get interesting, because Jungkook isn't just any performer. He's known as one of the most naturally gifted idols in the industry. Powerful vocals, sharp dance lines, insane stage presence. He's often described as an all-rounder, even a golden magne. So when fans see him being corrected, guided, and even pushed this intensely, it creates a kind of cognitive dissonance. Wait, Jungkook needs this level of guidance? But that's exactly the point. What we're witnessing here isn't about ability. It's about refinement, about chasing perfection at a level where good is no longer acceptable. And Jimin, who himself is known for his technical precision and emotional expression in dance, steps into a role that feels almost like a mentor, even though they are teammates. There's a moment in the clip where Jimin stops the music abruptly. He walks up to Jungkook, gestures toward his shoulder, then demonstrates the move again. Slower this time, more controlled. You can almost feel the tension in the room, not in a negative way, but in that focused, high-stakes environment where every detail matters. And Jungkook nods. He doesn't argue. He doesn't brush it off. He tries again. That alone says a lot, because in a group like BTS, where each member is already operating at an elite level, the willingness to be corrected, to be taught by someone standing right beside you on stage, isn't something you can fake. It requires trust, respect, and maybe even a bit of vulnerability. Fans noticed that immediately. Comments started flooding in. The way Jimin watches every detail is insane. Jungkook really trusts him. This is why their performances are always perfect. But beneath those surface-level reactions, there's a deeper conversation happening. What does it mean when two artists at the top of their game still push each other like this? Is it competitiveness? Is it collaboration? Or is it something more nuanced? Something that exists only in groups that have spent years growing together under intense pressure? Think about it. BTS didn't become global icons overnight. Their journey was built on years of training, struggle, and constant evolution. And during that time, their roles within the group weren't static. They shifted, adapted, overlapped. Jimin, who trained in contemporary dance, often brings a certain fluidity and emotional depth to choreography. Jungkook, with his adaptability and raw talent, absorbs and executes at an astonishing pace. When those two energies meet in a practice room, something unique happens. It's not just teaching, it's transformation. There's another layer here that fans can't ignore, the emotional undertone. The way Jimin's tone isn't harsh, but firm. The way Jungkook's responses aren't defensive, but determined. It creates a balance that feels rare. And it raises a question: how do they maintain that balance after all these years? In most environments, constant correction can lead to tension. Egos can clash. Frustration can build. But in this case, it seems to do the opposite. It strengthens their synergy. Maybe it's because they understand the bigger picture. Every small correction in that room translates to something much larger on stage. A sharper move, a tighter formation, a performance that feels effortless to the audience, even though it's built on countless moments of meticulous effort like this one. And fans, they're starting to see those invisible layers more clearly. It's easy to admire a flawless performance. It's much harder to appreciate the process behind it. But moments like this pull back the curtain just enough to show what really goes into creating that level of excellence. There's also something undeniably human about it. Because stripped of the fame, the lights, the screaming crowds, this is just one person helping another improve. One artist pushing another to be better. It's relatable in a way that transcends language and culture. Have you ever had someone point out a flaw you didn't notice? How did you react? Did you resist it? Or did you use it to grow? Jungkook's reaction here is telling. There's no hesitation, no visible frustration, just focus, adjustment, progress. And Jimin, he doesn't stop until it's right. That persistence is something fans have come to admire deeply, not just in performances, but in the way BTS approaches everything. There's a reason their work resonates globally, and it's not just because of catchy songs or impressive visuals. It's this relentless pursuit of improvement, this willingness to challenge each other, this unspoken understanding that almost perfect isn't enough. But let's be real for a moment, this kind of dynamic isn't always easy. It requires a level of emotional intelligence that's often overlooked. Knowing how far to push, when to step back, how to give feedback without breaking confidence, and how to receive it without taking it personally. Jimin seems to have mastered that balance in this moment. His guidance is intense, yes, but it's also precise and purposeful. There's no unnecessary criticism. Every correction has a clear intention. And Jungkook meets that energy with equal seriousness. This mutual alignment is what makes the moment so compelling. Fans aren't just reacting to the dance itself. They're reacting to what it represents. A relationship built on trust. A shared commitment to excellence, and a level of professionalism that continues to evolve, even after years at the top. Some might argue that this is what you'd expect from any top-tier group. But is it really? How many artists, after reaching global success, still push themselves this hard behind the scenes? How many are willing to be both teacher and student at the same time? That duality is rare. And it's part of what keeps BTS relevant, not just as performers, but as artists who continue to grow. There's also a subtle shift happening in how fans perceive these interactions. Moments like this aren't just cute or impressive anymore. They're being analyzed, discussed, and appreciated on a deeper level. Fans are asking questions. What does this say about their creative process? How do they decide who leads in certain moments? How much of their performance is shaped by these behind-the-scenes exchanges? And perhaps the most intriguing question of all, how many moments like this happen that we never get to see? Because if one short clip can reveal this much, imagine the countless hours of practice that remain unseen. It changes the way you watch their performances. The next time you see Jungkook execute a move flawlessly, you might think back to that moment in the practice room. The correction, the repetition, the quiet determination. And suddenly, it's not just a dance move anymore. It's a story, a process, a collaboration. That's the real impact of moments like this. They deepen the connection between artist and audience. They turn admiration into understanding, and understanding into something even stronger. Respect. But there's still one more layer to unpack. Why did this particular moment shock ARMY? Because it challenged expectations. Fans often see the polished final product, the confident performances, the seemingly effortless execution. And while they know there's hard work behind it, seeing that work in such a raw, detailed way can still be surprising. It's like watching behind-the-scenes footage of a movie you love. You know it wasn't real, but seeing how it was made changes your perspective. In this case, it adds depth. It reminds fans that even the best are constantly learning, constantly improving, constantly being shaped by the people around them. And maybe that's the most powerful takeaway of all. No matter how skilled you are, there's always room to grow. No matter how far you've come, there's always someone who can help you see what you're missing. And no matter how successful you become, the process never really stops. So the next time you see a BTS performance, ask yourself this: what moments led to this? What conversations, corrections, and repetitions happened behind the scenes? And how many of those moments look just like this one? Quiet, intense, and unexpectedly powerful. If this kind of insight fascinates you, if you find yourself drawn to the deeper layers behind performances and the relationships that shape them, then you're not alone. That curiosity is what keeps the fandom alive. It's what turns simple clips into meaningful discussions. And it's what makes moments like this unforgettable. So here's something to think about, and I'd love to hear your take. Do you think moments like this show a new side of Jimin and Jungkook's dynamic? Or has it always been there, just hidden behind the scenes? Drop your thoughts, your theories, even your favorite moments like this, because sometimes the smallest clips reveal the biggest stories. And if you want more deep dives like this, more analysis that goes beyond the surface and explores what really makes these moments special, make sure to stay connected. There's always another layer to uncover, and trust me, we've only just scratched the surface.